Legends rise from blister packs. Childhood whispers calling back. Figures posed in perfect time. A world of wonder built for you. Legends rise from blister packs. Childhood whispers calling back. Figures posed in perfect time. A world of wonder built for you. Toy me, toy you. The fun begins. Grab your grails, let's dive right in.
Hello everybody and welcome to Toy Me, Toy You with me, Dave, my regular cohort, Mr. Rudy Zizou, who is currently muted.
Hey.
There you go, Rudy. And our special guest for this evening from the vaults of Iacon, it's Ed. Welcome, Ed.
Oh, me. Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Ed. Always a pleasure.
Yes,
what have we got going on this evening, Rudy?
So, we'll have the usual things that we do, pickups, bit of news, and then a discussion all about spooky, gruesome, horrifying, ghoulish toys, being that it's so close to Halloween.
Awesome. And we've also got Pick Your Own, which Ed suggested a topic for us, which is peripheral items. What does that mean, Ed?
Well, I mean, we as collectors and like a lot of the YouTube videos and things like that I see online, we tend to discuss the major aspects of the things that we collect. You know, so whether it be a figure or, you know, whatever, a die-cast card, things like that. So when I say peripheral, I'm talking about the peripheral merchandise that usually surrounds a franchise. So it could be anything from a pencil to a rubber, you know, to a marble, you know, that kind of obscure thing that when a franchise starts, that other companies surrounding it seem to sort of like maybe they'll buy a tie-in license and then they'll start producing tat. You know, some people call it, you know, so it's that kind of stuff, you know, a bit of
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. Stay with us for that later, guys. Let's see who we've got with us this evening in the old chat. We've got Andy from Transformers The Show. Thank you for joining us, Andy. Gap After Dark, welcome. Bob Amarts. I'm surprised he's returned after my comments about Star Wars on the last show.
Yeah.
Andy from Excelsior's Domain. Are we going to hear any more about New York Comic Con from Andy?
Oh, has it been to Comic Con, has it?
Yeah.
Right.
Guyver, welcome. Some cosmic toy man, whoever that is. Welcome, Gareth. Thank you for joining us. And I think I might have got everybody. Oh, thanks, Martin. I should say, I do like Star Wars. I like the movies. I'm just not super excited by the toys. But people don't have to like everything. We like different things. So, we're all done and caught up with the chat there. Let's get into a bit of recent toy news.
We'll just say that Lee has been on holiday and he's only just got back. So,
yes.
Don't expect somebody to go on holiday and then jump on.
Lee is not with us this evening, but he will be returning.
He might pop into the chat and say hi later.
So, news time. Here we go. We'll start off with this. X-06 Star Trek First Contact Lieutenant Commander Worf in EVA suit. 1/6 scale. So about a foot tall. And $320 worth of Klingon for you here. Allegedly.
That's a nice sculpt.
No, yeah,
it does look very good.
And just all the crinkles of the spacesuit and just the attention to detail is ridiculous. But if you want them to pay the big money, you expect that.
Oh, is that the black variant?
No, that's him in the dark. It's trying to show off that he's got some lights on him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a USB-C cable. A nice universal charging method. Plugs into the back of his foot like you do. And then he's got some lights on the arm panel there as well. And he's got some bits and bobs with him.
Is it articulated, or is it more akin to a statue?
I believe it has some articulation.
I'm just thinking, with it having the electronics in it, unless because you obviously have to run wires up inside.
It says action figure.
Right.
I'm wondering if it has like a wire exoframe inside it, and then maybe feed the wires around the thin exoskeleton.
Hadn't really occurred to me till you mentioned it, but it doesn't seem to be much motion in the photos.
Yeah, okay, they've not really posed it as dynamic as you'd think.
I mean, I'm assuming it will have, because, like I say, you've got swap out hands there, haven't you? And I would think it's probably the wiring maybe in the suit, to keep it away from the articulation of the the figure itself. But it's a minor point. It does. I must admit, it does look nice. It does look nice. It's not something I would, purchase or bother to have on my shelf, but I can appreciate how good it looks, and there'll be some Star Trek fans out there that will really want this.
Oh yeah, and like people that love 1/6 scale, irregardless of what property it comes from, people will go. I haven't got any space for a 1/6 scale anything.
And he summed it up nicely here. The action is you taking a fistful of dollars out of your wallet.
But I must admit, I'm impressed with the head sculpt. They have got his features quite bang on there.
It's a nice display piece, and with all the lights and stuff, very cool.
No, not to be a party pooper, but if I'm dropping $300 on something, I perhaps want something a bit more.
Yes, but if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket,
money is
right. Onwards, amazing Yamaguchi black suit Spider-Man. So this is 1/12 scale, price to be confirmed, but it won't be cheap, will it? It's amazing Yamaguchi.
Yeah,
we'll be talking somewhere around the £100 mark, I guess.
I don't like it.
Not a fan.
It's
is that extra muscular detail on it, or is it like is it kind of the effect of the black suit
of the suit, to show that it's kind of a symbiote, more alive. I think what I want from my black costume Spider-Man is smooth, because that's the way I saw it in the comic and the cartoon. It looks overly muscular.
He does have a nice thwippy effect.
Yeah, that the web's awesome.
Yeah, that looks cool. And he's very posable, but he's got the weird shoulders that they have on these figures that always look a bit weird and awkward.
Yeah, it's the hyper articulation thing, isn't it? I often wonder about that, because there's a certain subset of fans that want the hyper articulation, but it because they feel it brings more realism to the figure. But yet, with a lot of the hyper articulated figures, they're actually more articulated than an actual human is. So it's like, where do you draw the line?
It's that playoff between getting as much articulation but sort of protecting the sculpt and the visual effect, and sometimes it goes too far one way. And these are the various bits that he comes with.
Yeah, the webbing's really cool.
But yeah, it looks good, but not good enough for me to part with the kind of money that it's going to cost.
It's one for the Spider-Man fans.
That's what it is. Mezco 1/12 Collective Casey Jones. This is a cool looking figure. Again, it's on the pricier end of the scale. but worth looking at just because it's a nice looking figure. And he's got some nice jogging bottoms on.
I was going to say, yeah, the jogging bottoms are really good. It's very comic.
Yeah, and the sculpt on the face mask and everything, I think this looks really nice. And there he is, unmasked. The little scar on his face. He's got his bag of goodies to go and beat up some bad guys.
Vigilante justice.
Yeah, so he's got the unmasked head, the one with the flag on, and then the normal hockey mask. And a variety of hands, more hands than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah, but I've always been impressed by the Mezco stuff. I missed out years back. I always wanted a set of the pink skulls, the Mezco pink skulls. So they just look amazing, but they're just priced out of them now. You know, the money that they go for now is even more ridiculous than what they were when they were first for sale. But they do produce some nice stuff, does Mezco.
And plenty of accessories here. You can choose your weapon. A variety of colours.
I like the realism of it as well, like the way that they've done it.
Yeah. And that nice little hoodie. That looks cool.
It's like, you know, when you're going for a night out vigilante and it's like, do I take the yellow baseball bat or the black and purple one?
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's a choice.
It depends who you're fighting, really. You've got to coordinate with the thugs.
Yeah.
Mafex, Marvel Studios, Deadpool and Wolverine, Damaged Wolverine. Another 6-inch figure for £100. Do you like your figures damaged, guys?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, on purpose. I don't mean poor QC.
I think if you're going to have a battle damaged figure, you know, like effect for a figure, I think depending on what price point you're paying, I think it would probably be better if it was like an interchangeable part. You know, like what they do with the RoboCop figures. You know, normally you'll get interchangeable battle damage parts and things like that. I mean, I suppose expecting people to drop. Sorry, how much one was this? Was it 100? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, expecting people to drop another £100 for the same figure just with a few scuffs and scrapes on it. I think it's one for the diehard fans that have got a bit of extra cash that, you know, it's burning a hole in the pocket. Unless, like you say, you're one of the collectors that prefer, you know, the battle damage stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever buy one normal and one damaged. It'd be either or.
Either or, yeah.
Yeah. It's relatively minimal damage on this. It sort of works, I think. And then we've got Storm Arena, King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match, Kyo Kusanagi. And this is only 29 of your English pounds. So a more value option. But the Storm Arena stuff is looking very, very good. I have some on order. I'm waiting for those to arrive, some of their Street Fighter stuff.
One for the Neo Geo fans.
Yeah.
Does it have a neck?
No.
Yes.
Oh, there is in there.
It's in there.
It's in there somewhere.
I just never played it. I remember seeing it in the arcades, but I just never played it.
Oh, Street Fighter.
No, King of Fighters.
King of Fighters.
Oh, right. Is this not Street Fighter?
No.
Right.
But they have done a number of Street Fighter figures as well, which
Right.
have been very well received. And then, they're doing other franchises as well.
The two are very similar, though, Ed.
They are. So you can use all the characters together, really, and face them all off against each other. That's a nice little flame effect. Do some damage to the ground. Why not? And a swishy flame effect there. This is a nice looking figure. I like this. I think the stuff. I think the Storm Arena stuff is it's got that balance between the articulation and the look. I think they've got that about right on these, and for a reasonable price as well. And the face sculpts are always really good. I know people love the Jada stuff, but I think that the face sculpts on Jada aren't as good for me. That's a nice scowl.
Mm.
Gareth has never heard of King of Fighters. I have, but it's I've not actually played it. I'm just familiar with it. DC Multiverse from McFarlane. Batmobile based on the 66 Batman TV series in 7-inch scale.
Incredible.
So fairly large and in charge. I do like the look of that.
Don't like the wheels. They're not blingy enough.
A bit plasticky, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to be a bit more chromy.
Yeah. Hmm.
You might have to get a chrome pen on them if you got that. But otherwise, it's good. It looks the part, I think. It's a good likeness of the vehicle overall. And again, McFarlane's one of the more affordable options, isn't it? They're not a premium, expensive brand as things go.
Yeah, whenever McFarlane have done vehicles before, they've always been like a competitive price, and they fly off the shelves.
Yeah, I think it could just do with just a little bit extra on the the highlighting detail side. Just the silvery parts could do with being chrome, and maybe just slap a bit of extra paint detail on the parachutes at the back there. Just to feel it. But I suppose for your price point and what it's aimed at, it does the job it needs to do.
It does. I'd be tempted to get one and let Masterverse Skeletor drive it. Here's some more Batman. You wanted to talk about these, Rudy.
I did. We said that these were a good few weeks ago. I think they showed them at New York Toy Fair. Yeah, they just remind me so much of when they were originally released. Just with the
these are your little 4-inch figures, aren't they?
Yeah, just only 4 points of articulation. Very much akin to like the reaction figures.
And a nice Joker. Vicky Vale. And Bob the Goon.
It looks more like Barbara the Goon rather than Bob the Goon.
That's a nice haircut. You're just jealous, Ed.
They look very toyetic as opposed to like the movie.
Mm.
But yeah, I think the colours pop, and I really love the packaging.
Yeah, Gareth saying he thinks the original Kenner ones looked better.
I'm not convinced with these. It's not. I mean, I have a huge love for the '89 Batman film, but I think. I mean, who are these aimed at? I'm assuming it's just for the die-hard collector because
I think they're for a bit of nostalgia hit, aren't they? But they're very basic figures, obviously.
Bob Amott said he'd keep them carded. I think that's what people would do. It all depends on the price point. If they were like £10 each, or like they started off as 15 and then went into like the bargain bucket as a tenner, then people are gonna.
Yeah, they're definitely the sort of thing that there's little posability there. They're really basic, and obviously they've gone in on trying to make the packaging appealing. Really,
I think
they're meant to be kept in the packaging, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's I think the packaging outshines the actual figure.
Anglesey agrees. Not much point taking them off. No, absolutely. So we'll skip through. Blocky's Action Edition, reformatting Megatron. So this is one of the larger Blocky 7-inch tall. Price to be confirmed. What do we think of this, Ed? You like a bit of translucent plastic, don't you?
I do, yes. But it's not for me. Rightfully so. Gareth made a point earlier on about the Wharf in the spacesuit. I mean, literally, 5 minutes of screen time, and they've made a $320 figure of that. So Blockies have now made a figure of Megatron in literally, it's probably not even a 30-second segment.
Yeah.
When he gets reformatted into Galvatron, it'll sell like hotcakes and people will be suckered into buying it. It's translucent plastic. It looks very translucent, but I think it's a niche piece. I think it's just and I'm just wonder how brittle it will be. But no, it does look nice. I won't deny that it does look nice, and I think given the right display setup, that would look really nice with some like up lighting on it and things like that. It's not for me. It's not for me. I have the initial Action Edition Megatron Blocky, and it was a fun build. I enjoyed it, and it's been in the box since. In fact, it's on the sales pile. It's out there. It's going kind
to
of
be
thing.
fair, I think it's good that they do stuff like this, because we've had years of kind of G1 Megatron done as he looks in the cartoon in many different versions. It's nice to get something that's a bit different, that's from that kind of niche little bit of the film or whatever. But I suppose I won't buy it.
For the price, this is probably going to be. I bet this is probably going to be around about the £55-60 mark. I reckon. Because the standard Action Edition Megatron, I think that's 40, maybe 45, somewhere around about that. But for paying that money, if you want a translucent Megatron that's looking like he's been reformatted, you could get the Super 7 big cyborg version, which is, I think it's like £25-29, I think.
I think they did it better, the Super 7 one. They just did it with the grid, with the white lines on it.
Yeah. So,
Blockies.
It will sell because blockies just seem to be a thing at the moment, and you can get good traction over social media by posting blocky stuff, and I think it will be, people will buy it and have it on the shelf, but I don't know if there's any. I like just seeing that image there now. I do like the yellow eyes.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that
I think it's one of those things, though, Ed, isn't it? We've all got different priorities. We've all got a certain amount of money and a certain amount of space, and we decide what we want to do with it. So for some people, they'll go, "Yeah, this is really awesome. I've got to get it." You and I, this is not our priority. But for what it is, I think it looks decent. Blockies in general, I think they're of a decent quality for the price point they've put them at. But I'm just not a huge fan like some other people are, Andy's just asked a question: is this a larger Blocky? Uninitiated. Yes, it is. So you're probably familiar with what they called the Galaxy class to start with, the 4-ish inches, but then they've done a variety of different sizes. So this is about 7 inches tall and a bit more expensive and stuff. Question from John before we move on: are Blockies going to go the way of Funko?
I think they will.
Firing out products.
I think they will. But then again, I'm notorious for my predictions because I also get proved wrong, which I'm happy to do because it benefits the collector when I'm wrong. But I don't know. I think maybe as quick as they exploded, I think they'll probably fizzle out as quick. Maybe. You look on the groups, and you can see quite a few that's up for sale. You know, they're like the smaller ones. Whether or not it's because they've got multiples of what, I don't know, but maybe so, maybe not. You know, maybe not.
They do, yeah. Where Funko all have that same basic outline for the most part. Blockies, particularly the smaller ones, has been the same, haven't they? They've used a lot of the same parts for the framework, so they do all look quite similar. But I think their large ones, they've sort of made them more individual, one from the next, haven't they? So
Yeah.
who knows, really? Could.
I mean, sort of like the people that, the people that make them must have some kind of faith in it, or they must have some, you know, there must be something that's telling them that there's some more mileage in it because they've paid for the licenses to Disney for Star Wars. You know, so you know that won't have come cheap to them. So you know that's an investment.
Well, yeah, they've got a variety of different franchises, and I've got a couple of their Pokemon ones, and those are very much the look of the Pokemon. It's not like if you got a Funko Pokemon and a Funko Transformer, they look very similar. So in that respect, although the range of Galaxy Transformers all look similar to one another, if you then go to a different franchise, it's a very different kettle of fish, really.
They probably know that time on the toy shelves or on the pegs is finite. So they throw everything that they can on the property, design as much, sell as much as possible, and then move on to the next because they know it's just not going to last forever.
I would find it immensely humorous if it turned out that the Star Wars blockies sold better than the Black Series and Hasbro's Star Wars stuff. That would be highly humorous.
I'm not sure they will, because they don't have the same level of distribution, do they?
No.
But they could, I suppose, improve their distribution. We've started to see the Transformers blockies appearing in like the Entertainer and Game a bit in the UK, but not to the level of Hasbro stuff.
Well, there's the Transformers blocky shop at Battersea Power Station, isn't there?
They're not just blockies, but yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they sell other stuff. They sell peripheral merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but when I see the photographs of of that shop, it's a lot of the same stuff on lots of different shelves. But then again, it may be the camera angle.
Maybe. Right, on with the news. Higher Toys, exquisite miniseries, G.I. Joe Crimson Viper. Now, this is a 1/18 scale figure, allegedly. We've discussed how scales aren't quite accurate before, particularly these smaller figures tend to be a bit bigger than they should be. But who knows? That's certainly been my experience with Joy Toy.
Well,
So any G.I. Joe fans amongst us?
It looks nice. It does look nice. I'll not lie. Not my kind of scale that I'm interested. But yeah, it looks tooled up. Looks a nice sculpt. Some good colouring on there.
They're much smaller in hand than what the photos are. I've got a Judge Dredd from Higher Toys, and it's really small. It's great. It's really well articulated and detail on it, but they are small.
What, they're coming out at 4-inch, are they?
4 inch.
4.1 inch.
Yeah, 4.1 inch. Yeah. So a little bit bigger than a vintage collection figure.
Yeah, or an O-ring. G.I. Joe.
I have the Joy Toy April, and it's a nice little figure, but for me, I'm just thinking, no, it's too small, so I'm not going to get any more. I just prefer a bit more size, a bit more length, you know. 6 or 7 inches for me, for my figures, really. But yeah, it's a nice figure, and if you want to get some figures that take up a bit less space and do a display with them.
Exactly. Not everybody wants to collect classified.
No.
Let's have a little catch up with the chat. What's Gareth saying here? Hasn't been anything that I would be stocking yet. Not enough glow in the dark.
I wonder if Hire are planning on to do any more of the line, or if
Probably
they've already
done a
got.
handful of stuff before. They're very selective on what characters they've chosen.
Right. It just seems a bit random to just say, like, knock out odd random figures that, may not group or go together, kind of thing.
I assume there's more from them. I just saw this in the news and thought it looked interesting. But I can't imagine they'd just do one G.I. Joe figure. Borders Dude is saying I need all the Joy Toy Turtles. I've discussed before that the aesthetic on the Joy Toy Turtles is just not for me. It's too busy. I like my turtles a bit cleaner, a bit purer, if you like. But yeah, they do look good for what they are. I can understand why people like them. All right, and then Lego Ideas, Power Rangers Megazord. Our friend Mr. Lely might like this. He's a bit of a Power Rangers fan, particularly the Zords.
This was part of they were choosing a few, weren't they, from a selection of Lego Ideas, like ones that fans had done as well as Power Rangers. Looks great.
It does look good. Really good likeness. And it's, I assume you have to unbuild it and rebuild it to get the individual things a bit. But there you've got all your 5 individual Zords and your minifigures of the Power Rangers. Oh, here he is. Here he is. He's showing up now. Hello, Lee. Just in time for the Power Rangers. All about the Zords. And that's all for the news this evening. Right, let's just see what else the chat are saying to me before we move on. Hold on. I'm not used to doing all this visual bits here. Lee normally does all that bit. There we go. Right, Borders Dude thought I liked it dirty. We were supposed to keep that in the private messages, John. Thank you. The original Turtles were anything but clean and pure. Yes, but I grew up with that silly cartoon. I think probably my favourite take on the Turtles is the 2003 visually. I have the Super 7 Donatello from that 2003 iteration. Fantastic looking figure.
As mentioned before, the first 5 episodes of the cartoon they're pretty hardcore, and then obviously it goes slapstick after the first season, I'd say.
Andy thought we'd had a Megazord from Lego already.
No, but like other companies have done it. Lego-y style. Cheap, brittle shampoo bottle plastic.
It's not. It's not my thing. Is Power Rangers. I know very, very little about them, so I have nothing to offer the chat on that one, I'm afraid.
Lee's saying hello to everybody, and he hopes we're being good. Of course we are, Lee.
I really like Lego
what's the
Ideas.
price? I don't think we've had a price yet, but yes, it would probably be a mortgage situation. Lego, not cheap.
Yeah, I really like Lego Ideas, but I'm not fussed really on having like properties. Like I thought the Voltron was really cool and Soundwave looked great, but I kind of I don't want my Lego to be like that. I want Lego to be something else, like town or space or. I don't desperately need.
No,
I've always just been a fan of
license.
just creative Lego sets.
Yeah.
Just here's some bricks, do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what Lego was to me when I was young. So
yeah.
That's
And I think maybe Lego kind of missed a trick there with. Well, I mean, I think the wave of nostalgia kind of is maybe on the wane a bit now, but I think they missed a trick when it was at its height to maybe go back and reissue some of those old Lego sets, from the, maybe late 70s through to the early to mid 80s, especially the Lego space stuff, because they still have the molds, they still have the designs, they could reissue them. And also the builder sets, I always remember, I think the set is 7144, which was a great construction set. You could build loads of different things with it and that, so I think they did miss a trick with not doing that, rather than chasing the franchises and building up around the franchise, which brings a hell of a lot of money in for them. There's no denying that.
Yeah, it's the cash generator, isn't it, for them?
Yeah. Oh, they still have the creative sets, but maybe don't push them as hard.
But yeah, I think I'm much like yourself. I like my Lego set to inspire creativity. I mean, you still can. You can still buy these sets and still make your own things with them. But it's nice to get a box and just rummage around and put a few bricks together. And I always remember the advert that Tommy Cooper did for Lego, which was way back. That was a funny advert.
Martin says he built a great big house out of Lego as a kid till his eldest brother came home drunk and kicked it flat. I think many of us have similar memories, those of us who have older brothers. Dear. Right, let's move on with the show. So the next thing we're going to do is share some of our recent pickups. Lovely. Shall we let Mr. Ed go first as our guest?
Oh,
give you
pickups.
I shall try and make you large.
I will be Eddie Large.
There you go.
I'll be Eddie Large. You can be Sid.
Sid Little.
Sid Little. Actually, there's a bit of look of a Sid Little about you, Dave. I don't know if that's
I'll take that compliment, Ed. Thank you.
Yeah, it's meant as a compliment. It's not meant as as being mean. Right, I'll swap it over here so he can give you a better view. You've probably, if shameless plug, but if you saw my stream, I did a video which I put up last night, and if you caught that, then you will have seen these already anyway. So my pickups this past week has literally been CDs. So we've got Now Yearbook 76 Extra CD. We've got the Beatles Red compilation, Beatles Blue compilation, and then I've got a gamepad for the Spectrum, which I'll not use. It won't get used, but it's there just in case. But then the main event is this. The Atari 2600 plus Pac-Man Anniversary Edition. That's the main event. It's a lovely set. Yeah, it's just really nice. But like I say, if you want to know more about it and what I think about it, like I said, there is the video that's on my channel that you can check out. But yeah, wireless controller, 2 versions of Pac-Man. But best of all, it's yellow. It is yellow. And
I like the pictures along the front and things. That's nice.
Yeah, well, they all light up. When you switch it on, they all light up. There's Pac-Man and the ghosts. So they... Pardon?
Incredible. It looks incredible.
That is.
It's a nice set.
Definitely.
It's no... I mean, the internal gubbins and the shell of it, it's not... There's nothing anything different about it to the initial 2600 plus that was released. It's just a different color, and you get a wireless controller with it as opposed to a wired one. But yeah, it's nice, great little set. Some nice artwork on it. So yeah, there we go. those are my pickups. All quick and brief.
Right, Rudy, do you want to go next?
No, because I haven't picked anything up. Yeah, I am.
All right. What's
I'm
happened to
still
Ed?
waiting on
He's
pre-orders.
disappeared.
I went back
It's
to
all right. I'm here.
I went back to the websites, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to check when these are scheduled to be released, and they all say the end of September. So yeah, I've got like
Just playing the waiting game.
4 or 5 figures on pre-order, but yeah, they all say estimated September, but we're into November now, so I have no idea when. In terms of possible pickups, the Kickstarter for the Mighty Orbits is going to happen in December, so that's probably going to be something that I will do. I will open Dalsim at some point, but being Halloween and half term, I've had no time for toys myself, sadly.
Cool. Right. I will show what I've been getting. And do let us know what you've been getting in the chat, and we'll catch up with you in a minute. So I have got, first of all, I got some ginger ale and some Whitworth Brilliant Banana Chips, because I just felt like it was going to be that sort of stream tonight. And then toy-wise, I got this Hot Wheels
Wow.
Time Machine DeLorean in hovercraft mode, which actually does have wheels underneath because, of course, it's a Hot Wheels, so it can drive across flat surfaces. But it's quite a cool looking little thing. And of course, being a Hot Wheels, it's not a lot of money. I think it was $150 in B&M.
Nice.
Yeah, just a nice, fun little bit. I do like Back to the Future. I think they're great movies, and I didn't have any Back to the Future stuff until now. So that's a cool little pickup. And then yesterday, this arrived in the post, which I'd had on pre-order for a little while. It's the Sea Spray from the G1 inspired retro packaged line that Hasbro have been doing. Comes in this nice old school box. The G1-esque artwork and the tech specs on the back and all of that stuff. So it's a nice box, but I am going to just put that in the recycling. But the figure is really good. I like him. That's my first impressions. I've transformed him once and back. I think he cleans up nicely in both modes, and he looks really cool.
His proportions are excellent.
Yeah. He's nice and tidy. I was a little bit worried that a piece had fallen off him when I taken him out of the box, because I'll just mention on the back of his feet here, he's got this flap here that unfolds for transformation, and then another one inside it. And I thought it would be the same on both sides, but there isn't one on this side. And as it happens, it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be there. Yeah, because this one here just folds out and is kind of goes in between to fill out the middle of the hovercraft.
That's going to mess with the more OCD inclined collectors out there.
Yeah, but there was a moment of, oh, is there a bit missing there? And then
There'll be
once I got down to the transformation, I realised that wasn't the case.
An extra flap just to balance it out.
So perhaps that'll put some people's minds at ease if they encounter the same when they get this. But yeah, definitely, I would recommend picking this up if you can. I think it's one of the better Transformers we've got recently. Definitely, some recent figures have had like quite a bit of gapping in them and that sort of thing, but he actually tidies up really nicely, and in both modes he tidies up nicely. So yeah, he's a decent little bot.
That's a nice looking figure.
Yeah. All right. So if I can unlarge myself, and we'll see what the chat have been saying in my absence. We'll start there. I think that's about where we were up to. Gareth saying he can't believe you didn't already have the Beatles CDZ.
Well, if he watches the video that I did last night, that will explain all he needs to know. But
Guzzy got the exclusive Nemesis Prime set, Retro Brawn, Age of the Primes Alpha Treon, and X Zeta EX05B ARC RC. Another female Transformer for the collection. How many is that now?
Oh, don't
Many,
worry,
many.
he'll tell you. He will tell you.
He'll tell us in a minute. Here we go. Funny, Ed talked me out of this Atari when he complained about being too expensive. Well, you shouldn't listen to Ed, should you, Gareth? Really, you should know better
No,
by now.
no.
If you want the thing, just buy the thing.
It's not good. That's not a good. It's not a good thing. Listening to me, not at all.
And because he's also ordered a version of third-party GoBots Crasher, the X9 Kokomo.
The X9.
Guy has been buying all the Transformers. Skydive, Sea Spray, Snap, Devastation Optimus Prime, Legacy Ferric, and Animated Lockdown. Gareth's holding out on us until the Cosmic Council. Got to keep some secrets.
I haven't bought a Transformer in months.
This is the first one I've had for a little while
Yeah.
now. I think the last one was the Turtles crossover.
Yeah, the last one I was the Fans Toys Warhorse. Ironhide. Masterpiece Ironhide. That was the last one.
Martin says that's cool. I'm not sure which one of my pickups he's referring to. Probably the banana chips. Yeah.
I know which
Yeah,
one.
they are. They're definitely cool, Martin. People who eat banana chips are the coolest people. And Andy says cool. This may be to do with the Back to the Future. I think that may be where we were up to there.
If I think back, there's barely, well, not until maybe like 10 years ago, there was barely any merchandise for Back to the Future at all. Growing up, there wasn't hardly anything. There was like it wasn't Micro Machines, but they were very similar. You could get the DeLorean and the police car and like the petrol station. But yeah, for years and years, there just was no merchandise at all. You could get model kits, expensive model kits of the DeLorean and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, it was the was it the I won't say AMT, but was it the Screen Heroes? But Screen Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much all you could get for a good long time. I had all three of those. I picked all three of those up.
Yeah, well, and then like NECA did action figures, but yeah, but for a long time, just no merchandise.
Lee's also saying he's got a pickup, but we'll have to wait till the next show. Everyone's holding out on us. Borders has got the Joy Toy TMNT Casey Jones and Crank. That Casey Jones looks really good. Actually,
Yeah. John pinged me a picture of it yesterday. I was just like, yeah, that's lovely. I was like, new Toy Joy.
Andy's saying it feels like sea spray. What feels like sea spray? Sea spray feels like sea spray. Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment.
Sea spray, not much good on land-based missions.
Yes, he's.
We're chasing the Decepticons down this tributary. Can you help us out, Sea Spray? Yeah, I'm there.
No sign of eels.
Didn't he have a funny voice, Sea Spray, in the cartoon? It talked like he was gargling or something.
Yeah, gargly, bubbly, like he was talking underwater.
Ed's looking very strange and juddery. Is it just me seeing that? Maybe my internet. Right. I think we're okay now. Everything was just going weird on my screen for a minute. Where were we?
Need another hamster. Apply another hamster to the internet wheel.
Yeah, definitely. Martin's saying the Hot Wheels car. That's what I thought. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's cool little thing. Gareth saying Diamond did the flux capacitor. Had a couple of releases. Sea spray can sort of go on land, being a hovercraft. We can also walk on land.
Hmm.
That's the advantage of being a transformer.
Turns up a bit late if he's walking, but it gets there eventually.
And he was voiced by Alan Oppenheimer. There you go. And I think we're all caught up with the chat for now. Thank you for your comments, guys. We'll move on with the show with Mr. Rudy Zizou and Blast from the Past. So what are you talking to us about this time, Rudy?
So we are going to talk about 1992, and it is the Lego catalogue from that year. And I wanted to speak about this. I wanted to, not do a traditional catalogue. I wanted to do something that I always picked up whenever I went to Woolworths or Jolly Giant, is I'd pick up the Lego catalogue. And in 92, I was still, even at 14 years old, I was still buying Lego. Lego is so universal. I probably didn't tell my friends that I was like buying Lego because they probably thought, oh, you're still playing with toys and stuff. But I think times have now changed, that it's totally acceptable to kind of play Lego whatever year you are. But I wanted to pick out this page because I absolutely adore Octan. I love that they decided to create their own petrol or gas company, because they were using Shell before. If you look at a lot of 70s and 80s sets, they were using Shell as their kind of bit for their town. But yeah, I loved that they created their own company called Octan. When it comes to Lego, I love space, classic space as it's now referred to, and I love town, or because this is a European catalogue, Miniland. What I loved about like this page though, and the subsequent one, thanks Dave, you can say on that one, when they'd do their photography, they'd put it onto a fully like huge big set with a painted backdrop and molded bricks, like as in rocks, and like that to make the diorama. They didn't just put loads of plates and loads of like other Lego sets. They'd integrate it into a full model. And I like the pictures are always really like saturated with color, and I always think they look so dynamic.
I think you're right. I think toy catalogue or box art photography, it's a bit of a lost art now. With the advent of being able to make computer generated imagery and things like that. But I always go back to things like when the Zoids, when you saw the photographs of the Zoids on the back of the boxes. They did a proper photo shoot, and they set these things up, and the scenery. And I think it's just a bit of a lost art now that you just don't get it. I don't think in some respects, it doesn't make toys as appealing. I don't think.
I think like your point is excellent with the Zoids. Like to me, I would probably think that was an asteroid or another planet. And again, I think this is like a real life canyon. That the Lego petrol station is built into. And then if you go back to the previous slide, Dave, some of the sets on here, majority of it is like Octan. But yeah, the red and green palette. But there's a camper van and a sailboat that I always really wanted, because it was then at that period in time when they started using canopies as like the windscreens. So if you go on to the next few slides, Dave, that's the British version. Oh God. Yeah, that's the same catalogue, but the British version was slightly different. Again, so you get to see some of the other port sets. And again, like the different levels. This was just to show Octan and how beautiful I thought the red, white, and blue, and the use of the new tires. They'd kind of gone on to bigger, chunkier tires by 1992. Here we go. The Surf and Sail camper. I always really wanted this set. as a kid. You know, I never really went on a caravan holiday or a caravanette. But yeah, I loved the fact that they started using what I affectionately think of as space Lego, the canopy as a windshield, so you can
Yeah,
lift
so
it
you
up.
can lift it up and get the figure in.
Yeah, which is like, from what I understand, you know, speaking to Lego chats and groups, it's really divisive within the fandom. Some people are so against it, and then other people like me are just like, I just thought it was a refreshing change, kind of in some ways like slightly futuristic, because, you know, it wasn't just your basic windshield piece, it was one that you could lift up and put your piece in. They did a lot with fire engines and some of the police stuff around 92, 93 with the canopy. I just really thought that was an interesting take on Lego. And there's the box. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Town.
That's all the slides there.
Yeah,
All right,
something a
shall we
little bit
see?
different this time, because I think we've got a lot of Lego fans in the chat and our subscribers. I'm a huge Lego fan myself, especially, as I said, Classic Space and Town.
Let's see if the
And
chat
Town-
have got anything to say to us.
Yeah.
and
And
Town-
said, so Octon was that era.
yes.
I mean, that was a period of time where I wasn't picking up Lego, or, you know, I mean, I was playing with other things than Lego, but that's subject for a different stream. But I did notice back in the day when they did the change in the style of the wheels. You know, I was always a fan of the red inserts with the grippy looking off-road chunky tires. You know, I liked those on the Lego vehicles. So when it got to those, they seemed to be more rounded off. You know, more, you know. And then they went for the grey inserts. So you know, there wasn't a lot of things that caught my eye from a Lego point of view, you know, during that period. But I mean, yeah, going back to pick them up now could be a thing, you know, because you know, especially if you're into that, you know, the whole Lego town kind of thing.
Guzzy's saying he remembers the little Burago toy car catalogues. I don't remember the catalogues, but I had a number of their cars.
Same here. I think I had a bright yellow Lamborghini Diablo.
Yeah, I
Burago.
was obsessed with Lamborghinis. I had
Yeah.
a bunch of Lamborghinis.
Burago were great, especially the 118th. You know, for the time anyway. For the time, they were good.
Really
The two, the two I remember from back in that day were Burago and Polistil. They were another one that did, you know, similar cars to Burago in the similar scales. The red Rally Mini that I've got, that I think I picked up and I did a video of months and months ago. That's a Polistil one, and you know, they're just great. I mean, I don't know how detailed Burago are now, but the older stuff is dated because usually the engines were just one solid colour of plastic. You know, there wasn't much detail in that, but the actual die-cast work and the bodywork tended to be quite detailed.
Yeah, I've got one of the newer Buragos. It's not super detailed internally, but externally it looks really nice.
I think the last one I got, Burago, would have been, I think it was a Ferrari F40 was the last one I got.
What a car!
No, that was the last one. My favourite one was the white Testarossa, the Miami Vice Testarossa. That was my favourite one. Yeah, I'd love to know what happened to all of them. They've just gone, swallowed by time.
Martin reminiscing about getting his Action Force Baron Ironblood signed at Woolworths by some guy who was dressed up as him.
Wow, that's a memory.
Just
Amazing.
some random guy. Could have been
Yes, it
anyone.
was the Baron. Incredible.
But when you're a kid, you're like, yes.
He didn't have a lot of jewelry and smoking
It's
cigars.
actually the Baron. Let's get him to sign this. And John is saying he hate it as a kid that you couldn't get the dioramas they did on the toy adverts. It always bugged me.
Yeah, but I suppose it makes them like aspirational. Is that's how you want to play with your toys, or you hope that maybe one of your parents is a little bit crafty and they can create that for you.
Well, you can just imagine back in the day, kids sat at home with their Transformers, wondering why, when they play with their Transformers, their head doesn't transform into the head of Ultra Magnus. Like the Transformers toy adverts, that kid, his head almost used to transform.
Oh, Gareth saying he thinks he has that set in the shop, the sailboat and the camper van. Let us know, Gareth. Confirm that. You need to check in on that and let us know. Canopies allow you to get minifigures into 4-stud width.
That's some absolute knowledge.
Yeah. I loved how the coming soon image was an egg with a wheel. Did I miss something? I don't know.
Maybe it was a Lego thing, was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless I missed something in the chat that's been discussed.
In the Burago catalogues.
All right.
I see. Right. So let's move on and do the next thing on our schedule, which is pick your own. And pick your own this evening is, what did we agree to? It is peripheral stuff. Hats. Not the toys, but the other stuff that comes along with it. The merchandise and the like. And Ed, as this was your suggestion, shall we let you go first and see what wonders you have brought to feature?
So hopefully Ed's going to show us some pictures of him bombing down the road in his Sinclair C5.
Oh, if only I did have one. I always wanted a C5. Yeah, no, it was unrequited love. I never did get one. I keep looking for one now and again, but they're just too dear now. They're too expensive. If you want a good one, you can pick plenty up, like that need a lot of love and attention and work on them. But so yeah, peripheral stuff. Well, yeah. So over the past few years, because my collecting habits had changed somewhat, mainly down to the fact that my collection is pretty much complete, as I say ad nauseum. I just buy now to replace or upgrade, and that's it. So when that happened, my eye kind of turned its attention to all the other stuff that I remember from back in the day that you would see, when less scrupulous companies could get away with making stuff and not have to worry about lawyers knocking on the door. Especially when Transformers came out, there was a lot of things that sprung up around the side that had the Transformers name on, or they had robots looking like Transformers. So you get pencil cases, etc., and things like that. So it's that kind of thing that I now tend to keep my eye out for and look for going forward. So when Rudy contacted me about, suggestion for a topic, I thought, that might be, because to my knowledge, I don't think it's something that you'd discussed before. And, when you watch YouTube videos or people talking about the collections, it tends to be the mainline stuff or the main focus of what they're collecting rather than this tat, as we call it. So, yes, I do have a selection of things. I have brought them out. I think I'll start with stuff like this. I'll change the camera so you can see. It saves me holding. Oh, no, actually, no, I won't bother. I'll just hold the stuff up. So these are jigsaws. And these are produced by Milton Bradley. So these would have been post 86. Hence, you've got Galvatron and Ultra Magnus there. And these are all sealed. I've not bothered opening these up. I did have, I think as a kid, I had the Ultra Magnus one. I didn't have the other two. So you had a lot of these coming up from Milton Bradley. And if Milton Bradley, it's like you see the logo there, the Milton Bradley logo. If Milton Bradley didn't release them directly, then they would release them under another company that they owned, which is Arrow Puzzles. So you get things like that, which would be a very toy-looking Optimus Prime with the deluxe Insecticons, Ramjet. I think you got Blitzwing there and Shrapnel. So you get
don't
stuff
even
like
need
that.
to do the jigsaws. It's just a nice box, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely.
It is, yeah. I mean that's the kind of artwork that I love. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to see a nice bit of polished artwork, but that is, back in the 80s, picking up Transformers, the first time round in 84, that's what you got. You got a lot of that, and there's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories tied up in that kind of artwork, so I think that's great. And then you've got this one with Megatron and Snarl, Prowl, and it's Top Spin. Well, you got two Top Spins there. And, quite unusually as well, you've got Megatron actually holding his silver gun there, which you don't get much representations of him doing that. And he's also got that kind of gold hue finish to his chest and arms, which again you don't see very often. And then you've got the standard one that's the back of the 84 box art. So there was a lot of things like, there was jigsaws, things like that. And then you had, I'll just finish off the jigsaw ones with, they had then got jigsaw 3D puzzles. So you could build the jigsaw and then you could build Starscream in his robot mode or his jet mode. So I mean, it is, you had a lot of things like this. Again, that's by Arrow, which was a subsidiary of Milton Bradley. So moving on from the jigsaws, let's just put them out of the way. You then got things like the storybook and cassettes. The old Ladybird Telltale, which I had the gift set. They did a gift set which had the 3 books: Lightning Strike, Master Plan, and Autobot Strike Back, with the cassettes and that. And so you had all this kind of stuff going about as well. Which other franchises, you could get He-Man ones and She-Ra, and I think there were Thundercats as well. I think, and Thomas the Tank Engine. Ladybird did do quite a lot of these in the Telltale adventures. So you had things like that, and building on that, you even get the carry case, the Transformers carry case.
Lovely.
Which, you see it again. Great artwork. Love that artwork. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't honestly tell you if this is licensed or official. I mean, it does say on it, 84 Hasbro Industries, all rights reserved, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm assuming that it is, because I did used to know the name of the company that produced these, but I can't think of it offhand at the moment. And then inside, we have some goodies. We have more cassettes. That's a twin pack, Battle for Planet Earth. That's not from Ladybird. That's from a company called Ditto. So that's again just an audio story. It's not a read-along thing. What's that? Oh, that's my Takara toy catalogue. What's that doing in there? Oh, there you go. That's the 85 catalogue. I think I've been looking for that the other day. Anyway, there you got the books. They did the movie one, Ladybird book, and then for those that like to do a bit more, creative reading, you had then the adventure books. Pick your own story kind of thing.
Awesome.
I mean, there are more. You can get more of these, but I just stuck to the season 1 characters. You know, like Keep It with Optimus and Jazz and Grimlock there. As a kid, I had that one, the Jazz one. Didn't have the others.
Those look cool. I like those pick your own adventure type books.
Yeah, there weren't bad stories. There weren't bad stories.
I never had any Transformers ones, but I do like that sort of thing.
And then these are just the cassette tapes that go with the books. Which, just a little shameless self plug, I created those inserts for the cassettes because they didn't come in a cassette box. So I just knocked up my own cassette covers for them just to make them look tidy. So yeah, you get things like offshoots of things like that. There are other things. I've got some more stuff here. Oh, there's that one as well. Special teams. That was one. There was a story in the UK Marvel comics where they introduced the combining teams. That actually Marvel US had contacted the UK officers saying, you need to plug these because these toys are coming out soon. And Marvel UK was like, we've no space for it. So they created a dream sequence where Buster, his name, Buster, had a Matrix inspired dream, and he dreamt of he went forward in time with Optimus, and they came across the special teams, which were the combiners. So that kind of accompanies that story. So you got cassette stuff there and boxes, and then get into the good stuff now. Get into the good stuff.
Into the good stuff. This is the good stuff.
This is pick your own. He's just picked everything.
No, I haven't
got much to show.
I mean, this is just a random selection. I have more peripheral stuff, but you're just getting some of the highlights. So you get things like this, the Soundwave Design Center, which is just basically a drawing set. You've got like a ruler and sort of like the army thing that you can trace around a shape, and it draws it on the paper. It all folds out like that. And I mean, this one is complete. It's 100% complete. It's got all this stuff in it. You can pick these up, but they're very rarely complete. For a long time, I can remember getting this from Asda back in 1985, and this. I did play with it as a drawing set, but when I play with my Transformers, this was my Devastator when I was playing with my toys as a kid, because of its size. But it's a great set. You've got scissors in there, in one of the arms, a pencil sharpener. So that again, this one's House Martin is this. That's a great thing. And then you get stuff like this, walkie-talkies, which look nothing like a Transformer, although they do have kind of a blue streak looking face. But just random stuff that comes out. I mean, I didn't get them out, but I've got a set of marbles, Transformers marbles, and activity books, notepads, pens, pencil sets. Just get me key. So I've got these in a locked box. I should have opened it before we came on.
Security. What's coming out of this?
Oh yes. So then you get things like, here we go. The Panini sticker album. With it could do all your stickers and just swapsies in the playground. Yeah, sticker albums weren't a unique thing to Transformers back in the day, but again, it comes under that banner of things that just cropped up in and around the main thing going off there. Let's see now, what else have we got here?
You would go to the newsagents and you'd go and buy a packet or two of Panini stickers after school.
Yes, yeah. And then that's the pullout that goes with the Special Teams cassette. And then they reprinted it in the comic as well. And then you have things like this, the Transformers the movie poster magazine, which folds out into the movie poster, the UK one. So there's all, and then you get the tie-in adaptations. What else have we got? There's just loads and loads of stuff. And then you get collected comics. It's all just stuff that just crops up in and around. And then, like I said, you get the annuals. You get an annual at Christmas. And the artwork in these is absolutely belting. I mean, this first annual, there's a lot of love and attention and care gone into the artwork here for that. If I remember rightly, I can't think of his name offhand, but the chap that did the artwork for this is the same chap. I think he did artwork for 2000 AD.
He did. And he did, Action Force as well.
Yes, yeah, Battle Action Force and that. His name slips in mind. I'm getting crap at remembering names lately.
I can't
but
remember.
Yeah, so it's fantastic stuff. And then you've got this, which is I think it's probably my second favorite. Well, it's my joint first favorite piece of Transformers artwork ever. I don't care how good it gets. This is my favorite piece of artwork, and it's the cover for the 86 catalog. I think that's just a fantastic picture. I love how they've drawn the shadowing and the light reflection, and you've got the Cybertron in the background, and it's just a great piece of art. As is that. That's my other joint favorite. That is just an amazing piece of artwork.
I always think that image, it looks really like ethereal.
Yeah. So, it's just lots and lots and lots of stuff. I mean, we've done. Oh no, that's Zoids. We don't want to show Zoids. not on this one anyway. Yeah, I think that's. Oh, and then, but it's not something that's just. It's not something that's relegated to in the past. There's still lots of peripheral merchandise that crops up these days. And the most recent one that I can think of was when they did the Transformers stamp sets. The Royal Mail did those. And, so it's not something that's been relegated to the past and doesn't happen anymore. It's still happening. But I just think that because nowadays, because of the such strict licensing rules and regulations and how people can get sued for doing things like that, it's just, I don't think it's as prolific and as varied as what it was, say, back in the 70s and 80s, where people would just create something. I mean, all the stuff I've showed you today is all licensed, peripheral merchandise. It's not hooky stuff. I do have some hooky stuff, but again, that's all packed away. I didn't get that out. So, but like I say, it was just to give you a flavour of some of the stuff that grew around the main, the toys, if you will, and the cartoon, and that supported, the sales of it, and all went to, get the money out of our parents' hands into their pockets so we could feed our addiction to the toys and whatever it is that we're picking up. So that's what I was talking about when I mentioned about peripheral merchandise and
right. I think you covered that comprehensively, Ed. Should we just
Ed, literally, that was incredible.
That was cool.
I've not seen some of those things for a long time, and especially
right. Thank you, I appreciate that.
And it just obviously invokes a lot of nostalgia, and it's a time gone by, and some of that's still happening now, like with the Royal Mail stamps. It just gives us that little bit of flavour. But I always feel that the things that you showed, they're very much, it's what your auntie got you for Christmas.
Yeah.
Or it'd be like that secondary kind of like purchase to keep you, occupied, or because, not everybody can get an actual Transformer toy for their birthday, but they can get something so close to it, like a jigsaw or a puzzle, and it's still just as exciting.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean,
time.
Excuse me. The annual was a staple of the 80s Christmases. Everybody got an annual.
Oh yeah.
I mean, again, the downstairs on the shelf, I don't have them here to hand, but I still have all my Beanos and Beano annuals and things like, because I always got a Beano annual at Christmas. And then when Transformers came along, I got a Transformers annual and a Beano annual, or a Dennis the Menace annual, or a Bash Street Kids annual. So, they were very much a staple of the present under the tree at Christmas.
Yeah.
An annual.
Things have changed a lot, haven't they? It definitely was literally everyone got an annual.
Yeah,
they still make them now, but there's just not
They didn't make,
as
for
big
sure.
a market, I think.
And I mean, it was the same company that was knocking them out. It was Grand Dreams, the company was called, and they were knocking out the annuals for all of so the Transformers, Thundercats, Action Force. Even though it wasn't Action Force, it was more GI Joe. But the Care Bears, My Little Pony, He-Man. It was the same company that was knocking out all these annuals, and so like you say, that was your annual and a selection box. That's what everybody got at Christmas, regardless of whatever else they got, so and then like I said, the poster magazine, that was just, that is my actual copy. It's got my name in pencil at the top from the newsagents. That when I went to see the movie when it came out, 13th of December 86, went down to the local Cannon cinema, sat there, just glued watching it. And then I think this came out in the January. I think it was the first week in January the poster magazine came out. So that was like, to the news agents and thank you very much kind of thing. So, there was just all that going off that just kind of kept you immersed in it. It didn't let you forget for a moment that, there's like Transformers are here. Here's the lunchbox. Here's the thermos. Here's the poster. Here's the annual. And it just kept you locked in,
Right, I'm going to go next. I haven't got as much as Ed to show, not nearly. Peripheral, it's not really the way I collect. I collect toys. I love my toys. But I do have a couple of bits. You've already shown some of these, but the Ladybird books, which my mother-in-law got a few of these for me that she saw at a car boot fair, I think it was. And they're a little bit of fun. I love the kind of toy-inspired artwork in them.
Yeah, the artwork in them
like
is fantastic.
The Megatron there with the toy head,
slender Megatron head.
Yeah, and that's the movie one that you showed as well. That's a nice cover. I like that.
Yeah, see the movie one is a bit of an oddball in the Ladybird books because that actually takes stills from the actual movie rather than
shots from the movie in there.
Yeah,
but they are fun little books. I like those. I did have when I was younger. I haven't got any to show, but when I was younger, I had the Transformers wallpaper and lampshade and bedspread.
Yeah,
Those are other
well,
things.
again, it's downstairs under the bed. But I have the Transformers duvet cover, pillowcase, and the sleeping bag that has Grimlock and Megatron and Optimus Prime on. I mean, I wasn't bringing them out to show you today, but they're all downstairs. And that's fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff.
And then a modern one that I got for Christmas from my brother was this little mug and socks Transformers set. Another staple of Christmases, particularly for the dads. You get your socks.
Yeah, you know when you've got old when you start getting bought socks for Christmas. It's like
I've just left this in package on display. I've seen people report that this mug, when you wash it, the thing just peels off the picture basically, and it falls apart. So I've just kept it like this. It's quite a cool little thing just to keep on display. And that's about it for me in terms of periphery. I've not delved into it like you have, Ed, clearly. We'll go on to Mr. Rudy Zizou then and see what you've got for us.
So, when Ed suggested peripherals, I pretty much knew, and as we saw, I knew that Ed was going to bring his A game and show us really a lot of stuff. So I thought I wanted to go a little bit more tech, and I was going to show the unsung hero, and it's a peripheral because it's enhanced my toy collecting, and I wanted to do the unsung hero that is the the I don't know, the stand is just like the basic name for it, and this is the Storm Collectibles stand, and it is the possibly best peripheral I've ever bought. So it's like extends. It says,
Oh, that's a nice noise.
yeah. So it's all they ping backwards and forwards. That rotates. It's really sturdy. Super. It's not shampoo bottle plastic. No. And when I bought them, it was a good couple of years ago. I'd never bought a stand before. I was quite happy just to, display my figures just on the shelf. But then they started to fall over. I then put a load of stuff in storage, and I thought, what I put out, I need to have it as dynamic as possible. So I jumped on and I bought some stands. And when I got them, it was, I don't think they do this anymore. It was if you bought multiple ones, you got it as a bundle price. So I think I got 5 for the price of like 2 3/4. It was like, buy 5, pay for 3. And this is how dynamic you can kind of get with a stand. You can now have something.
You can now throw your toys on the floor.
Yeah, I fiddled with it earlier. You can allow your figures to do that instead of just having them posed. And then if you have someone that shares the same mold, it allows you to be that dynamic. So I will have my 2 Seekers, the G2 Ramjet and Sandstorm, the unreleased, displayed together. Yeah, the unsung hero that is the figure stand. Was
just as an aside, I'd be interested to know who owns the rights for that design for those stands, because if you go on Hasbro Pulse and for $14.99 you get a 3-pack of those and they're identical.
Really?
Yeah, they are identical. The base is more translucent than what that is, but yeah,
it weren't expensive at all, and they hold up a Transformer figure easily, apart from when I unpeg it live on camera. But yeah, absolutely incredible. Especially,
I have one here in my box of Stormtroopers, Black Series Stormtroopers. But yeah, so that's the stand bit. That's the grabby bit, and then that's the base. Yeah.
Okay, so the base is a little bit different. Is like, has somebody patented it, like one little piece and it's just living off royalties?
There we go. So yeah, sorry, yeah. So it is a slightly bit different. Yeah, sorry, no, it's not exact, but it's near enough. So yeah, no, my bad. It's not exact, but it has the pincery holdy bit there.
It's probably different enough.
I had no idea
maybe so, yeah.
This is what stands could do. I like to anything that has a ger walk. It allows me to kind of display that as dynamic as possible, not just having them stand. It can look like it's flying in ger walk. Yeah. So I thought I'd take it in a slightly different direction because I knew you'd go all in with your Ladybird books. So yeah, the peripheral of choice is the figure stand.
Very
For
nice.
the action pose.
For the action pose.
All right, some good choices there. Let's move on then to the final segment of the show. How about chat? And tonight's discussion will be talking about Spooktacular Toys. Right, I'll let you take the lead on this one, Rudy, because spooky toys are not really a big feature of my collecting.
So yeah, we've just had Halloween, all things spooky. I thought, what a great discussion piece would be. All things ghoulish, fiendish, Halloweeny, gruesome, horror-y, and a clever play on instead of spectacular, they're spooktacular. So yeah, we thought that as Ed has a wonderful collection of skeletons, he'd be the perfect guest for us to delve in. But there's certain things with
It's nice to know that I'm boiled down to my skeleton.
So yeah, that's what I like to think about spooky toys is they really began in the 80s for me. And I think any spooky toy needs to glow in the dark, and then that's what gives you the real spookiness. So I thought I would show first the spookiest of them all. We have got Scareglow from Masters of the Universe, and he fully glows in the dark. I didn't even know who Scareglow was until the mid-2000s. I watched He-Man growing up, and I don't remember him being in the show. He wasn't. He was just a toy. I don't remember seeing him on the toy shelves. If this guy had been on the toy shelves in the 80s, I would have been all over it. I loved glow in the dark, and I still do. So yeah, he's for me ultimate.
Sorry, Rudy. When was the first figure of that produced? Then
I'm pretty sure it's like the mid-80s.
Right.
Yeah, Skeletor's ghost. He's called Scareglow, and it's Skeletor's ghost.
Right. Okay.
His pet. So yeah, he's incredible. This is obviously a newer version. But yeah, he's all things glowy in the dark. And then as I was telling my children about the podcast, they were like, "Oh, are you going to show your Playmobil?" I'm like, "My Playmobil? What do you mean?" They meant these. Why, like
Day of the Dead.
Why Mexican, like, what is it called? Day of the Dead, Los del Muertos figures, which we got blind bagged. We used to, whenever we went to like do the weekly shop at Asda, we'd have a little walk around, and like the blind bags for Playmobil were like £2. They just used to choose them, and then we got these on the same day, like the guitar player and the dancer.
Coco was on the telly this afternoon.
So yeah, I thought they were super spooky as well. But yeah,
can I just ask as well, with regards to Playmobil, are they suffering from shrinkflation, because aren't they smaller than what they used to be?
No, definitely not. I picked up some vintage ones from the car boot,
right,
and they're exactly scaled the same.
Are they?
Yeah.
Right.
The ones from McDonald's, because they had they're like miniaturized versions with less. No, you know that Playmobil has articulation, but yeah, they clip in together, and only their arms move. But yeah, they're miniaturized versions. But yeah, all Playmobil is standardized. These are the same.
So they all the same size. Right. It must have been a variant set, because years ago, when my son was still a toddler, we picked him up a Playmobil set, and it was like 2 race cars. They were like 2 little race cars, and I still had a Playmobil. It wasn't a toy I was interested in, but like I say, that auntie that you have, or grandma that gets you a toy kind of thing. And I had and the figure was decidedly smaller than the one that I had back as a kid. So maybe it was just I don't know, maybe a special set or a random set or something. But that's what led me to ask if they had changed the size, because I did notice the size difference in these.
No, they're all. I could see my vintage ones over there. They're exactly
right.
The same size. Incredible.
Right.
Guzzy has just said, were there some glow-in-the-dark Transformer stickers in cereal boxes back in the 80s, or did I dream it? No, you did not dream it.
No,
in the 80s, glow-in-the-dark stickers came in cereal boxes. Sometimes you'd even get a little figure, and that glowed in the dark as well. The Black Cauldron, the film that almost destroyed Disney, you'd get action figures, well, statues of the figures that came in cereal boxes, and every once in a while you'd get glow in the dark figures in cereal boxes, as well as stickers. Ricicles.
You'd also get the thingy, scratch things. Where you could
I used to
it
like
in
the
film and put it on
things
your...
you'd get in Frosties to attach onto your spokes on your bike.
That was probably they probably made those in glow in the dark plastic as well. Spooky. Just glow in the dark is just pure spooky from the 80s.
Cereals were a different experience then.
They were.
You don't get any of that.
Cereal, I think one day we'll have a discussion all about cereal. I think on the cereal and cereal toys, because
You
it's.
can have a cereal blast from the past.
Stay tuned for the next 2 weeks. The next blast from the past will be that. That's for sure. So yeah, I thought that would kick us off. And if you wanted to tell us about what you think is spooky, Ed.
Spooky. Well, I mean, really, all I've got spooky-wise that you could say are the skeletons here, these chaps here, which are just adorning. Which I did the little setup for you, just so to keep in with the spooky Halloween kind of theme. But yeah, so it's just the skeleton. I mean, these are relative. These are new. These are from Four Horsemen Studios and the Graveyard Skeleton set. They did a cracking zombie set for this Halloween, which unfortunately isn't available over here at the moment. It will be coming in time, but yeah. So no, these really are my only spooky, scary, Halloweeny, horror-y kind of things that I've got at the moment. As a kid, I'm just trying to think if I did have anything, that would fall into that bracket of being, spooky, scary kind of thing. And I don't think I did. Maybe just some kind of like, cheap newsagent kind of toy may have fallen into that bracket or what. But no, I think, I can remember. I don't think I ever had any, but I can remember when you'd go on holiday and like the seaside shops that just used to sell everything. And there would be these small kind of like hollow plastic figures. And you'd have like Dracula and Frankenstein or a skeleton or something like that. But they'd have parachutes, so the ones that you'd wrap and you'd throw them in the air and then they glide down on a parachute kind of thing. But I can remember as a small kid playing the various like spooky themed board games.
Ghost Castle.
Pardon?
Ghost Castle.
Yeah, there was Ghost Castle. I never played Ghost Castle. The one that I played was, I think it was called I Want to Bite Your Finger. And it was basically like a cutout of Dracula.
Wow.
And I can't remember exactly how you played the game, but you did something and you had to put your finger in Dracula's mouth. And depending on where, I think it must have been on like a turning dial or something that was on a timer. And it would come down and it had like 2 ink pens or in the mouth area, and it'd leave 2 dots on the end of your finger. And if that happened, I think you were out then, or you lost the game kind of thing. There was that. I do remember that game. But it was more, rather than toys and things, that my mum and dad used to let me watch Hammer House of Horror as a kid. The TV series. So that was quite spooky, and I think that's probably why I'm immune to horror stuff now. It doesn't really bother me. I don't get the jumps or the frights, from horror kind of things. But that was a memory of things all spooky. But no, for the moment, all I have spooky wise is those skeleton guys there.
What about when you play the Spectrum? Is there anything that's
right then? Thank you for that segue. So yes, this is what you wanted me to get to, wasn't it, Rudy? I was kind of hoping you forgot. I was thinking, Don't mention the Spectrum. Right, okay. I'm going to share my screen for this one then, Dave, if you don't mind.
All right, go on then.
You think I brought my A game for the peripheral stuff? Wait till you get a load of this. So,
Strap in, guys.
where are we?
Strapping, guys. If you like
Strap
Spectrum
in.
38K, this is the one
We
for
are
you.
going in.
Right, here
We're
it
going in
comes.
hard on this one. So, Rudy had asked me about spooky things related to the Spectrum. So I didn't. This wasn't me volunteering. This is purely. I had my arm twisted on this. This was Rudy saying, bring this to it. So this is what I'm doing. So I had a think and I had a look through some of the Spectrum games. This isn't all the spooky related Spectrum games I've got. This was just a selection that I picked. So let me just because I made some notes because I'm just that kind of guy. If you're going to do something, you do it right. You don't half-arse it, do you?
Spectrum.
Absolutely not.
Where's it gone now? Right, so this one is Attic Attack, which is by Ultimate Play the game. So this one came out in 1983, did this one. And it's basically just a maze game. It's an amazing game as well, but it's just a maze game. And the idea of the game, that's the loading screen. And then, but that's the actual gameplay screen. So what you had to do is you were trapped in a haunted castle, and you had to escape by collecting various different keys. And the keys were color-coded to attribute to the different doors, trap doors and staircases and things like that in the game. And you could play either as a serf or as a wizard. And,
And a knight.
Pardon? And a knight, yeah. So, well, the serf and knight. It's the kind of, depending on the character that you played, allowed you to do different things in the game or access different areas. So a great game, lots of playability to it. And it's pretty low on the spooky meter. I think it's probably about a 4 on the spooky meter. It's not, it's not
Really?
massively. Yeah, it's not a massively spooky game. It's not, it's not going to give you nightmares or keep you up on a night. The next game I picked is a text. This one's a text base. So you type in, go north or pick up axe or things like that. And it's called Ghost Town. I just picked this purely because it had ghost in the title. And it's essentially, that's the loading screen. You don't want to say that's a boring one. But basically, you have to, you go to this ghost town and you have to find Jake Clampett's gold mine and to find the hidden gold and then return to the town. And that's it. That's about as spooky as that one. So that's a 1 on the spooky meter. Is that's not even hardly there. But like I say, I picked that because it had ghost in the title, and that one came out in 80. Yeah, no, that was 83 as well. Yeah, that was 83 as well. So the next one, spooky, I had to have Ghostbusters in there. You can't have spookiness without Ghostbusters. This is an Activision game, ported over to the Spectrum, and considering the Spectrum's limited capabilities, there's a loading screen. They didn't do a bad job with it, to be fair. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. So, those are your characters. That's your ghost trap and your beams, and then you've got the ghost here that you've got to try and capture. So they didn't do too bad, but the added element to the game as well was that you had to manage your budget. So you earned money from catching ghosts, and you could upgrade your car and your equipment that you used, which would then make it easier to catch ghosts and then earn more money. So, yeah, we had to have Ghostbusters in there. That's 84. And so what we got next? What's spookiness? Right, this one, Chamber of Horrors. Again, I purely picked this one because it had a skull on there and it looked a bit spooky. The game itself is... I wanted to bring this up as well. Some people who enjoy music may recognise that face.
Is that Eddie?
That's Eddie from Iron Maiden, Iron Maiden's mascot. So yes, the Omega Software, who produced this game back in 1984, took a bit of artistic license and nicked Eddie. That's from the Peace of Mind album, is that? Which is a great album, by the way. So yeah, so that's why I picked that one, because there's a bit of plagiarism going off. The game itself is a bit naff, if I'm honest. It's not particularly spooky at all. There's different. This game, you've got to try and cross a marsh, and then it's a game that has different levels where you fly a plane and you've got to bomb a city. So it's a bit of a mishmash. I don't really know why it's called Chamber of Horrors. It just is. Next, we've got Zombie. So you got a zombie game, and that's by Quicksilver, same people who did Ant Attack. We've got a great loading screen on that one, very colourful, and the game is basically it's identical to Ant Attack, but instead of killing ants, you've got to kill zombies and rescue people from the city. And it's like a bit of a isometric 3D thing going off. So again, spookiness is probably about a 4 over 5 on the spooky meter. You know, it's a good game, but it's not very scary. And then what we got next? Werewolves of London is a Mastertronic game. This is from 1989, so this is like getting towards the back end of the Spectrum's viable life cycle, to be fair. I like how it's not very detailed, but you can tell they've based that off Lon Chaney's Wolfman.
Yeah.
The drawing there. The game itself, all you've got to do is, well, this is a bit gruesome, actually. This is probably the most gruesome out of the lot that I've shown. You've got to go around the city slaughtering people to get, I think it's get I wrote it down here. What was it now? Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you've got to go around the town slaughtering the members of the family that cursed you. And then when you've done that, the lichen curse is lifted and you become a real boy again. So that's that one.
Nice.
Yeah. So you've got, so that's probably, I'm going to give that a 7 on the spooky meter, because you've got the game actively encourages to go around slaughtering people, very 80s. And then the last one, I had to throw it in there, is the Rocky Horror Show.
Oh, lovely.
Because you can't beat don't dream it, be it. And it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. And the object of this game is you can either play as Brad or you can play as Janet. And what you've got to do is you've got to go around Frankenfurter's mansion and you've to find all the parts of the Medusa machine, so then you can unmedusa your partner and then escape the mansion. And again, not particularly much of a spooky game, but it's Rocky Horror.
I love Rocky Horror. I remember going to see Rocky Horror as a teenager.
It's fantastic. I love Rocky Horror.
At the Lyceum in Sheffield, it was Jason O'Donovan was playing.
Right.
Yeah, and before the show started, he came out into the audience for a walkabout, as they sometimes do.
Yeah.
And he saw me. He gave me a confused look, as if to say, "What exactly are you?" And then he feigned looking up my skirt. Because I was wearing a short leather skirt for the occasion.
And then
that's a happy little memory for me.
Yeah, no, it's great. I went to see. I've been to see a few of the amateur productions of it. Around Wakefield and Leeds and that, and they've all been great. They've been really fun, and joining in and getting into the spirit of it is it's brilliant stuff. I would like to go and see, do the cinema experience. Where you take your newspaper and your water pistol and, you get really into it. But, maybe one day. So that was the spookiness of the Spectrum that Rudy had asked me to indulge you in. And then
That was awesome. I'm just going to take a pause there, Ed, and just see if
Yeah,
we can have
no
a
worries.
little catch up with the chat.
Yeah, you catch up with the
'cause we
chat.
haven't really looked at it for a little while. Where were we?
Personally, I think Attic Attack is the spookiest of them all. Wizards, spells, Dracula, Frankenstein in there, crosses. You know, the turkey or the chicken. You know, there's a time limit, and you get to see bones.
Here we go. We'll start here. My spookiest were the Ghostbusters mailman whose pants came down to reveal a mouth.
The real Ghostbusters toys are, yeah, a joy to behold. Perhaps we'll see some in the slideshow in a bit.
I think the only spooky things I have are Draculus and Frankentron. Those are the Transformers crossovers.
Stay tuned for the slideshow, people.
The new Studio Cell glow-in-the-dark green Unicron looks
Yes.
good.
They do, yeah, that is nice. Is that?
That's because you were showing off some glow-in-the-dark scare glow, wasn't it? Glow, says Gareth. Most spooky thing I have is a Freddy Krueger costume with mask, hat, and glove. Yeah, Freddy Krueger's creepy. We've done that. Did you not grab a Black Series Zombie Trooper? I'm guessing that's targeted at you, Ed.
No, I don't think they do it as an individual release. I think it's in a 2-pack. I think. I'm not right sure. I don't know. I know that they were releasing them, but I've lost touch a bit, so I don't know if they're actually out yet or not. I don't know. I may do.
Does anybody remember the Atmosphere VHS game?
Yeah. Mm.
I don't.
I do.
My mum was a massive horror fan. She loved Salem Slot Film.
Mm. Yeah.
You had to mention Spectrum.
We cannot invite Ed on and not talk about it.
No, you can.
We like a bit of retro video gaming here.
Yeah.
I know it's Toy You, but we like a bit of video games too. I remember playing Attic Attack as a kid. Oi, oi. All right, Drew. Ian, apologies for the late arrival.
Good evening, Ian.
That's all right, sir. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We won a game of Fortnite and made 8-year-olds cry. Excellent stuff. That's how it's done.
Hey, you can play as some cracking characters on Fortnite. I mean, I don't play it myself, but when I look at the roster of characters that you can play on there, it's like, you know, I think to yourself, it'd be worth playing it just to play as some of the different characters.
Had Ghostbusters on the Atari. Terrible. Detailed review there.
Yeah.
About right.
What did I just walk back into? Dave in a leather skirt. Well, we're doing spooky.
Maybe Andy thought he was watching Tripods for a moment.
I remember playing stuff like XCOM where you had hidden movement. That was spooky. There we go. And I think we're about caught up. I will just quickly interject myself, I think, and show off a couple of spooky-ish items that I have in my collection.
Wrong one, Dave. There we go.
There we go. You have to put it up and then rearrange it.
Really?
As I can tell, that's the only way it works.
Is that the
arrangement?
arrangement?
Way, unless someone can educate me. So yeah, a couple of spooky-ish items from my not very spooky collection. But Skeletor, of course. This is the Masterverse Skeletor, the barbarian version with his alternate toy-inspired head. And yeah, of course, Skeletor. He wasn't very scary in the show, was he? But as a toy, he's quite an imposing, spooky character. And then the Generation Selects Antagony, because it's a big black robotic ant transformer with this face with serrated teeth.
creepy crawlies, they're well spooky.
They definitely are. And this one is in particular. Very cool. And then this is maybe a little bit questionable, but it's a Batmobile. Because when the Batmobile turns up, that definitely scares the crap out of some crooks.
That's thin. That's
a
make
thin,
ourselves,
tenuous link to a bat.
make ourselves a bat to scare the criminal underworld of Gotham. Yes, that's probably all I have to contribute to this conversation now. So we'll move on. Ed, did you have something else to share?
Yeah, it was just it was staying on the spooky thing. I have to share my screen again. Just hang on a second, and then that will be me done. I will be done and dusted and out of your hair, so to speak. Where are we now?
Right, I've got my banana chips at the ready.
And it was
I can
literally,
sit back.
you can't have Halloween or spookiness without discussing one of my favorite characters, and it's not the favorite character, one of my favorite characters, and the one that I am wanting and I pester, and I want someone to make a good masterpiece style. Wait for it. Zombie Impactor. You know, I can remember reading this story as a kid, and it was it was a spooky, creepy story back in the day. You know, especially to have a loved character, literally get blasted, in the head there by a made-up character as well. What was his name now? Malevolent or something. I don't. What was his bloody name now? Someone put it in the chat. Wasn't Flame? Flame was the guy that resurrected him, wasn't it?
Flames, yeah, I never read this story. I only know of Impactor and getting. Well, you will quickly tell the story.
Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, so you've got so you got Impactor and you've got the Zombie Impactor, keeping it with the spooky stuff. He gets resurrected by Flame to try and do his evil bidding, and he comes and makes everyone like, oh, he's back from the dead kind of thing. What I find brilliant is, I mean, this is Jeff Anderson, sorry's artwork on this particular issue, but they have hinged doors on Cybertron. I think that's brilliant, And if you zoom in, they've even bothered to put the detailing of the split of the hinges there. Like futuristic, sentient robots. You don't need sliding doors. You can just get a hinge door in there, So yeah, Zombie Impact. It's some fantastic artwork, creepy as hell. Just showing all the
absolutely.
Showing all the internal workings and that going off there, and then then you've got other undead Transformers, trying to bite the tops of the heads off other ones, like brains, Impactor looking, very, very gruesome and grisly there. And then in the end, killing Flame, with his impaling Impactor impaling him in the head, and then sacrificing himself to save Cybertron at the end. I'm already dead. I have no place amongst the living anymore. Dying comes easily. It's just like, it was just a really, really, like I say, remember it back in the day, just being a really creepy, spooky story. And up until that point, I don't think I'd ever really read any kids comics that did that kind of thing. The dead coming back to life and zombified them and things. But so that was the last thing I wanted to share, really, that I just didn't think you could have a spooky theme or a spooky topic without mentioning Zombie Impactor.
Yes, there you go. I do have a Flame toy.
There he
Since
is.
you're talking about it, this is a cool looking figure. I do like it. The alt mode is rubbish. Absolutely not worth the transformation. But the robot mode's very cool.
It'd have been nice if they'd have taken the time to actually make a dedicated figure, because it's a repaint of one, isn't it? Was it a
It's a
repaint?
Megatron, isn't it? It's some
The repaint of a
version of
Megatron.
Megatron from a video
Right.
game or something, I think. I can't remember exactly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because didn't it come with Zaron as well?
Yeah, I don't have that one. One of my friends bought the 2-pack because he wanted Zaron and then kindly gifted me the flame.
Right.
And yeah, I like it. It's a good gift.
So yeah, I'm all spooky creeped out now.
Good stuff. Do you want to have a quick go through the slides that you
Yeah,
sent
there's
me?
a couple of
Ruby?
slides that we could just touch on just to round off the
Throw
evening.
those up.
So yeah, here we have Universal Monsters and Transformers crossing over. We've got Frankenstein and Megatron, or Frankentron. Yep. I'm not the
Should have been
biggest
Megastein.
crossovers fan, but yeah, it's fun and spooky. Dracula or Draculus. So that is it's a repaint, isn't it? A recolor of the head.
Mind wipe.
Mind
Yeah, it'd be
wipe.
mind wipe, won't it?
There he is, with added cape. And then we get on to the real Ghostbusters, and lo and behold, some 80s glorious glow in the dark.
Nice.
Yeah, so these are shortly to be released, I believe. X01 redone, all in
That looks cool.
glow in the dark. It is actually affectionately known as Ecto Glow. So yeah, original toy, and there you go. That's
Green.
yeah. This is obviously a digital render, so I don't expect that vividness, but yeah. I think they were scheduled to be released many, many years ago in the 80s, and they didn't always get to fruition. So now we're seeing them brought back to the toy shelves. And then we've got some Universal Monsters from. Is this the Necker's Toony Terrors? Done in black and white.
It looks
they
like
also
that
do come in
type
colour.
of style, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why? I'm just sure. Why does Dracula look like Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, it absolutely does. That's incredible. Yeah, and then this was shown at New York Toy Fair. A toy never released before, and it's getting a release.
That's Lewis
Oh, in
Tully.
the dark, Lois Tully.
No,
And then a little nod to maybe the most gruesome, horrifying bioexorcist in Hollywood, and that is Beetlejuice. Toys inspired by the film.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I have number 3, which was like shish kebab, Beetlejuice, and all those like knives and weapons and bits go in his back. But yeah, they're really fun.
I like the car.
toys.
The car
Yeah.
looks really cool.
Yeah. And then
Supernatural.
I wanted to speak about the other thing in terms of the 80s, which I think goes along with glow in the dark, is holograms.
Mm.
And Supernaturals did this amazingly. They're, a little bit gruesome, a little bit horror, a little bit spooky, and the holograms inside just look absolutely incredible. Some more Toony Terrors, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, and as aforementioned, Lon Chaney.
Mm.
And that's
Phantom of
it.
the Opera, wasn't it? Yeah.
End slides. Ta-da!
They look pretty cool, those two new ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah, handful of
fun little
colours.
things. They don't really have any articulation or
No.
anything.
No.
They're just fun looking things to have on display.
They're a cheaper price point than, say, the
Yeah.
normal NECA articulated.
It reminded me of a cartoon I used to watch as a kid. I think the cartoon originated in the 60s, I think it was.
Do you mean the Groovy Ghoulies?
It's the Groovy Ghoulies, yep. I needed that. Frank would say every time he got electrocuted or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, again,
Yeah,
Rudy and Ed just being the
perfect.
same person.
It was a brilliant cartoon. Really, really funny.
They used
It
to
kind
show
of like
it in the
mixed.
80s.
Pardon?
They used to show, like, they showed reruns of it of the 80s in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I can remember during the 80s, you know, I send it 70s and 80s, but early 80s watching it on a Saturday morning. It was, because it had like musical numbers in it. It had like little skits and jokes, and then it had like the story, and it was a really funny, great cartoon.
Oh, speaking of funny, Andy contributed this.
Visible.
Reply to your
Drone.
reference about the doors on Cybertron. Are you saying Impact has come unhinged?
Hinged.
There you go.
Ruffle.
Just make way for the tumbleweed.
Ironically, Frankentron is an Impactor remold. There you go.
Draculus's mind wipe.
Guyver hopes they continue the Universal Monsters crossovers. Have they just done the 2 now?
They've only done the 2, haven't they?
Yeah,
And that was
it'd
like
be strange
10
not
years
to
ago.
continue, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? It's
Yeah.
been
I mean,
a while.
you'd get Werewolf out of Weird Wolf. That'd be a cracker. You could, I suppose, it might be a bit of a stretch, but is there a you could do like the Creature of the Black Lagoon could be like Skull Cruncher. It might need a bit of retooling there, but yeah,
Maybe
there's
they
options.
didn't do well
carry
and they
on.
decided to give up.
Yeah. But to be fair, Dracula and Frankenstein are probably two big ones, aren't they? I mean, they could throw the Wolfman in there as well.
Tully in a shop mobility vehicle. Invisible Man, just an empty box.
Yeah.
There you go. And I think that's a good note to end this evening's discussion. So before we end, Ed, do you have anything coming up on the YouTube that you want to plug? Or are you still on rest?
Let me just look at my board. No, my board is bereft of video appointments. I will be on the Cosmic Council on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. I think it's just me and Gareth this week. I don't think Andy's partaking. So it'll be just the two of us. But no, other than that, I'm still working on a few bits. The Collector's Archive will be back at some point. I'm not sure when. It's probably going to be in the new year, I think, now then when that's back. It'll have a bit of a slight format change as well. Though it'll be a bit different, just change it up a little bit. But at the moment, no. Whether or not there'll be any videos when I get any pickups or something comes in, I'll probably do something there. But there's nothing. I'm nothing concretely or firmly planned to do. It's just as and when the mood takes me.
I will likewise throw up videos when I can be bothered on my channel, Toy Slice. Do look for my old videos there. Been over a month since I've done one again. I'll get there. I'll do something when I can. I might do one of Sea Spray. We'll see. Rudy, you planning some YouTube videos?
When the
for the coming
pre-order's
year?
done, yes.
Yeah.
There's one particular pre-order that I want to do a Figure Force video because I've not done a Figure Force video for a long time. So
Good. Watch this space then, everyone. Right. Thank you for joining us in the chat. That's another episode of Toy Me, Toy You in the Bag, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for more of this kind of shenanigans. Thank you for watching as always. And let's get out of here. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Plastic dreams and shells that glow. Action heroes